Best known for his Academy Award-winning score for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Tan Duan is also the first Chinese-born artist to win Russia's Shostakovich Award. Tan travels frequently between China and the US to promote cross-cultural understanding. Recently, his garden-themed production of a classic Kunqu opera, The Peony Pavilion from the 16th century, was staged in the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Astor Court in New York. The composer and producer later spoke to China Daily at his Manhattan studio about the opera. The garden version of Peony Pavilion was a huge success because all the tickets were sold out. Tell us where your inspiration was coming from.
I'm a big garden lover. I love to plant, not just flowers. Anything in the garden, I love to do it. But I also, besides plant something in the garden, then I find the sounds of a garden is very interesting. For example, the birds, the waterfall, the pond. Then I find, my God, the garden actually always like a sleeping beauty. Incredible. But if you have something interesting in sound with embracing or intercourse with all those visual and plants, organic seeds, and the garden becomes so operatic and so beautiful. One day, before the China 2010 Expo happens, that time I was a cultural ambassador of the Expo to the world. So I was a volunteer myself, doing a lot of work for those ancient suburb villages in Shanghai. And in Zhou actually is a Ming Dynasty village. Incredible, beautiful. And I was having a cup of tea in this water town. Incredible. I was reading poetry. I heard all those beautiful sounds of birds, a lot of incense, and I suddenly realized this is kind of sort of opera. It's the animal symphony, and all those little scents and the cheers of the winds, the birds. It's really so beautiful.
Later, Tan staged his garden version, The Peony Pavilion, in Shanghai's Zhujiajiao, one of his favorite places. Audience members also included Max He, head of the Met's Asian art department, who immediately had a discussion with Tan about staging the garden version classical Kunqu opera in New York.
It's very, very meaningful. For example, if we bring this opera, the Kunqu opera, the artistic format of Kunqu, which is the earliest Chinese Baroque opera, to gardens everywhere. It means we need a lot of actresses and actors, having a lot of Kunqu school to train all those young players. And of course, you will have a lot of presenters, a lot of institutions working with oldest but very, very new, inventive productions around in the garden. I hope this performance concept in different gardens in the different country and will inherit the Kunqu opera to keep the Kunqu tradition alive and to have many, many younger generation and new schools open for this old format, old artistic format.
After the Peony Pavilion's run at the Met, Tan was invited to bring the production to other cities including Los Angeles, London, Tokyo, and Paris. The Oscar-winning musician says for him, doing the Peony Pavilion is like a dream come true. But the Chinese-born artist who enjoys a worldwide reputation took one step at a time to realize his music dream. From his hometown in Hunan province to Beijing and then to New York, Tan considered each step a turning point. You moved to New York in the 1980s and became a doctoral student at Columbia University, where you met some really great musicians. Was that a turning point in your life?
I have had so few turning points. The three. Number one, when I moved myself from Hunan to Beijing and studied the Beijing Conservatory, and that step formed my dream to be a professional musician. And the second step is when I moved from Beijing, studied in New York, Then I made my stage bigger. And then the third one is this time I did Peony Pavilion, the Kunqu opera in the garden and in different gardens around the world. I find another way to waken up the sleeping beauties of the ancient time. I think Sleeping Beauty is just like a Peony Pavilion. I think one of the big steps is from the Shanghai Ming Dynasty village, Zhou. I had the illusion. I want everywhere to be Zhou. I want everywhere could perform Kunqu opera. And I need so many Liu Mengmei and Du Liang. And I need so many schools to nurture the culture, to train the Liu Mengmei and Du Liang. Then you see, everything's blossom. Everything is happening. And now the tradition is alive forever. Then the future is writing.